Hi, Jed. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello, and thank you first of all for being willing, a willing participant in just sharing your experience really of life before Superfast Circle, and then your I guess your journey with Superfast Circle. But listen, before we dive in to let's say more of a detailed chat, just maybe share a little bit about what led you to setting up Everpool, which is obviously your current and still relatively new recruitment business?
Yeah, well, I've had different recruitment businesses since the year 2000, and some have worked flamboyantly, beautifully well, and then changed due to economic crisis or the market not being there or retail going more clicks from bricks. And then the financial crash of 2008, and then merging with a legal business that could have been better but different, and then picking up a health and social care business and turning it round into a solid health and social care business, then moving on to a really big player in a temps business. But I did the perms and grew it from scratch. And then obviously demerged from that business, and then that landed at Everpool, which is a multi-sector permanent recruitment business where we only had a week to think of a name, a brand, because we had an existing base of clients and an existing base of people, but then we had to think of a name and a brand, and we had to get moving quickly. So our marketing was on the back foot from the base, really, because I've worked very closely with marketing when I've been in senior positions for big retailers, and I've worked heavily with marketing departments. So I understand marketing and I know marketing. And that's, how I got to Everpool. But we were set up in a week, and then we had to
Get out to market.
continue trading,
Yeah.
but then start working on everything. So when you open a business and I think it's interesting because you're the CEO, but you're also the marketing director, the finance director, the ops director. So you have an infrastructure where you bring on someone who's finance and you're very upskilled quickly. They'll have different hats on. I'll have different hats on. And then, how many hats do you have on?
Yeah.
So when we were set up, I'd worked in an existing business and we had a marketing department, not as I would run a marketing department or I would want my marketing department to be run, but then I'm in a business that I've set up that is trading and I don't have any marketing function. So I have to do it myself. We got an apprentice trainee first in because digitally transformation is all around us, I think, as we said the other day. And, how do you set up your brands, your business, your personal brand? How do you let the outside world know you know what you're doing? I think, marketing for me in recruitment is the sales side of it. It's gone more marketing because the idea of picking up the phone and asking somebody if they've got any vacancies in this day and age, you probably get the phone slammed down or you just get laughed at because it doesn't work like that. And it's about, who are we and how do we let everybody know out there what we do? And that's marketing.
Yeah.
So, I start off with a social media apprentice who I say, I want you to do marketing. And then we overload this individual with all of this. And then I need to pick it back up, or my finance director does, or the girl who's running one of the big accounts with me. The three of us try and do marketing between us. And yes, I'm a good marketeer, I think, but my job is not a marketeer. My job is a CEO or an MD or whatever you would like to call me, running a business. So I need a marketing department or proposition. One, we need a brand. Two, we set up our website too fast. So I needed that marketing person to help me then. When are we going to set up a proper website? And then obviously you're looking out on LinkedIn and you see, all these marketing agencies and all these recruitment marketing agencies can do all of this. And, I think I've seen yours, which I knew I needed, but when do I go and get it? And are we set up to brief them on what we need? Because, possibly when you get them, you go, oh, can you just run tell us how to do marketing and we'll do it. And it isn't as simple as that, is it? Because you've got to understand our brand. But I'd seen your information on LinkedIn, I'd seen your videos and how you come across. And I thought, well, these are experienced recruiters and or salespeople and therefore experienced in the marketing industry with recruitment. So we need that. So let's download their brochure and let them tell us what we do, and then let's set up a meeting, and then I need to explain what we need. And it was a great fit because you've got two experienced ladies, probably in sales and ops, as well as marketing and as well as recruitment. And the synergy and what I was talking about, you understood. And I needed a marketing plan, and I could do it myself, but I want much to drag me away from the business, and I couldn't do it as well as the experts. Like if I need someone, if I buy a telly from an independent retailer, I don't take home the telly and try and fit it on the wall and set up all the channels. I just tell them to come in and do that for me because I want that telly working with all boxes attached to it, and I want to press the button. So that's what I want to do with my marketing department, because although I feel I'm good at marketing and I know I need marketing, I don't necessarily want to do marketing. I want to be driven by an expert who gets me organized, who gets me a plan. And then I want an individual who fits that bill to be able to develop and coach and land that plan. And that's what we wanted to move into. So that's why we went for Superfast. And that's because we needed our brand and we needed to be out there on social media, but also LinkedIn. But we needed, a marketing strategy and a proposition, and we needed to know what we needed to do. I think it was the 90 days, which is quite intense, but it gets you thinking, and then you've got, your plan for the rest of the year. And, you'll build on that 90 days, and if you have your individual doing your marketing, and they're liaising with you guys every month and every week, and you're setting them tasks and developing them and coaching them alongside my meetings with you once a month. That's why, it's worked well for us, and it gives us a strategy. Sometimes it's difficult to tangibly measure what does it give you, but it's given us a brand presence on LinkedIn. It's given us a personal branding for the senior account managers. It gives us something to take to market because we get our presentations and our ways of working and we put them together and we sell our box of products alongside what we do and how we do it. And all of that is interlinked and works alongside our marketing individual who is coached and developed by you guys. So sometimes it's hard to tangibly measure, but we know it gives us revenue. We know it gives us kudos, and we know it gets us contracts. So if our investment in you guys gives us a chunk of sales across the businesses that we take on, I think that's where it pays for itself, really.
Yeah. Well, selfishly, I'm glad to hear you say that. And I know from how the brand has evolved, because it's changed significantly since you and I first started working together to what it is now, and it's completely up leveled, hasn't it? But there was something I just wanted to pick up on, just to sort of see what your thoughts were, because you were really clear, I suppose, as you were sharing the story there about that, you brought a marketing apprentice in initially because you knew that you and your FD Sophie and other senior people, you couldn't be taking this on even together. So you brought that apprentice in, and then there's been a journey there of developing the apprentice and and working with Megan, who we work with now. What was it though? Because if you think about it, right, the story that you shared was that you literally had to set this business up, short notice, get the brand out there. You'd already got established clients. You'd got people that you were working with, on contracts and different things. So one of the options, I guess, would have been to just say, look, hand it over to an agency and get them on it. But it was interesting because actually your approach right away was, let's bring an apprentice in. We want to do this in-house. And I'm just interested to just maybe get you to just share a little bit on your thinking about actually going for that approach where you build your internal systems and that capability.
Yeah, I think if you build somebody, the individual who came across came across from a resource position, so they understood the basic principles of what we do. Then if you get an expert alongside me, a lot, because if you've got, Sophie, who covers a few different hats, not as many as she used to, but she works closely with our marketing individual. Our marketing individual is from a resource background. Our marketing individual understands the values and behaviors of the company and the culture. And then if you pick somebody like Superfast, who can work alongside that and coach and develop, I think it's good to have somebody internal on marketing and not just to outsource it to an agency who's maybe got standard box packages, say, well, this is how you work, because I think each individual business is unique, and the service we get from you is that you understand our business, because whether we come to you for 2 days and whatever's in the subject matter is great, or whether we come to you individually and say, can you help me with the website? What's your thoughts on this? Who should we go for? Or we're doing this, or we're doing that. Or Megan needs this, or Megan wants to do this, or Megan needs coaching on this. Then if you don't understand our brand, I don't think you can give me that level of service. If you understand our brand, and the individual who's running our brand is brand orientated, and it has got Everpool running through the veins, and the culture and the behaviors, and the external people like yourselves know what Everpool is about because you've taken the time to find out, then that's the difference than outsourcing to an agency.
Yeah. No, okay, that's helpful. And so just thinking then about because what we've been working together for coming up for 2 years, probably 18 months ish. For you, what do you feel that you've been able to achieve, as a business, with your marketing, with the brand, as a result of us working together, and off as well, I suppose, perhaps Megan, maybe I'll come back to that actually. Let's just say that. What do you feel, we've been able to bring? What have you been able to achieve?
Marketing in the world of transformation around recruitment, because recruitment has changed and the market is tough, and there's lots of talent acquisition specialists out there. It changed through COVID as well. You do things on computers that you didn't used to. You have teams, you have different ways of work, and the landscape's changed. So we are developing our brand through and with you. We are developing our marketing individual through and with you. And we have a plan of where we want to get to by when, over a period of time, to sophisticate the brand, the ways of working, the culture, the products, the product box. Even saying, well, look, we're going to have a portfolio of products that we offer our clients to sit and have a meeting with them to say, look, no strings attached. Give us half an hour. Let's see if it's a good fit in terms of the services that we offer or the products that you would like to consider from a recruitment and a resourcing strategy. And, we're marketing their brand whilst we're doing that. So that's interesting as well. And I think for us to get into a position, if you haven't got a website that is more user-friendly, approachable, looked at, makes sense, how do you get them clients to do that? So, website is one. And the way that we talked about what we do from personalities on our website, you had an input into that, and Megan's, got a hold of that. So the website, the brand, the personal brand, myself and how I brand the business out there makes an impact, as well as, the development of the overall marketing plan. So that's what I would think Superfast has given us and will continue to give us, because there's more to come from us and you as we continue with our partnership.
Yes, no, absolutely. And let's say, in terms of what you feel comfortable sharing with this, is how do you feel? What are your thoughts on how you've seen, your marketing person grow while they've been working with us?
Yeah, I think they fully understand what marketing is about, and what marketing is in the modern environment from a recruitment perspective. It isn't just social media. That will play an aspect of it, but it's about how you the culture and the behaviors of your brand is put out there to the external world, and getting your message across of what you do and why, and the full marketing proposition. The individual has to work with the different departments or account managers, and whether it's engineering or property or health and social care, Megan, as a marketing individual, has to have a finger in all of those pies and bring them divisions forward. So it might be that Megan does some editing and some content and some training on how to post on LinkedIn, but that'll be through yourselves, with yourselves and the guidance. And then, yes, she'll go away and do her posts through, and be able to, because she's good at that type of stuff, but you'll have, whether it's Meet Edgar or whatever it is, to show her how to use that product and showcase it. And then she will be innovative and creative around suggesting what we should be doing as a business and a brand, instead of waiting to be told what to do. But the suggestion and the creation will become through your coaching and development of the individual. And, that's the service that you supply to us, and that's what we pay you for. So our investment in you guys pays off 5, 10, 20 fold, because of the coaching and development of the individual from the expertise perspective. Forget thinking about outside of the box, because let's say there is no box, and because there shouldn't be a marketing box, because marketing is wide open, and it's whether you actually call it marketing, because marketing interacts with ops, it interacts with sales, it interacts with the brand, it interacts with the integrity of the brand, the development of the brand, but it also interacts with the service that you give to the client. So really, if you've got a good marketing strategy, then that will show in how you act as true ambassadors for the clients that you're working for.
And I mean, I guess just staying on that theme of your marketing and Megan, let's say, how in terms of her role, because you are a multi-sector business, okay, so there's a lot of different divisions to be getting the brand, to be getting their divisional messages out there. So there's a lot to do. So how do you think that perhaps having access to the kind of resources, the content, the campaigns, etc., how does that help a marketer like Megan in terms of how she manages her time and what she's able to deliver for you?
Yeah, because the account managers can get involved in that content, because they can listen in on some of the sessions. She can have a session with you and then brief that session out. She can have ideas of what we need to do next. But recruitment is recruitment. So although it's sectorized and segmentized and niche, and you should have experts within your departments of recruitment departments, the marketing principles remain the same.
They do.
So it's the how to do it right, and how to even start it, or how to be innovative and creative. So I think, I said it before, Megan has developed now to come to us with ideas and come to them, and she'll get them together and she'll discuss. But you might have a different, slant on a marketing from an engineering or a legal or a fashion perspective, but the basic principles are still the same. So, how they showcase their individual sectors with their clients could be very similar as well, although there's certain aspects of it being niche.
And I know that you've shared quite a bit really about your experience of working with us, but I just wonder to what degree perhaps when we first started working together, after I think you requested or you downloaded the audit checklist, and you looked at, you did that audit of what you were doing and what you weren't doing, and then we had that first call. How has your experience maybe exceeded your expectations when you first came in? Because, we started working together and we didn't really know each other.
Yeah, I think it's the organization, isn't it? It's the plan, chunks to move forwards. What does this, the 90 days thing is quite, when you look at it, there's a lot to do. But the 90 days, you don't have to do everything within 90 days, but you have to look at what you're going to be doing and when you're putting that into place. And, so the organization and the planning for on a yearly basis is the conferences obviously make a big impact on, are you doing the right things? And you're talking to other experts within the business, and some people may have the same problems, or you have to get out there in the public domain. I don't know whether that's be a video or just send some information or ask a question or let people know that you're out there. So that will talk about the content and the things that you do, and whether that be then, okay, so you should use Revo, or you should use Lucia, or you should use this, or you should use that, or what else is out there, because this is the modern way, and you're going to be left behind. So it enables you to not be left behind. It enables you to stay on the forefront of what is going to work in this digitally transformed market that is intense and more difficult, and how do we survive and how do we grow? So that brings alongside the development of the individual, who then brings alongside the development of the individual, of the development of the account managers in cohesion with the brands and what we go out and need to be for our customers. So I think, it can have an impact in how we operate and how we trade as a business, really.
So potentially a bigger impact than maybe initially you were thinking. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I would say it's been a bigger impact, because you can't. The thing that you get is you can't do everything yourself, and if you can try. Are you, when you have 10 hats on, are you robbing Peter to pay Paul sometimes with the hats? And if you've got an expert who's good at what they do, then you can brief the experts and you talk to the experts. And if they understand what you're looking for, they'll be able to give you something for your brand, but also give you the marketing principles of how to do that, really. So, I know you will have similar messages to your other clients. And even though they're in recruitment, what some people will find odd about Superfast, or the attendance of the meetings, or the recruiters together going on the calls, what's wrong with sharing ideas? Because you're not giving your secrets away. It's like 40 years ago, or 35 years ago when I worked for Asda, when we first opened Asda Bromley, we couldn't tell the staff what the department sales were on a weekly basis. Well, why? Because that's crazy, isn't it? Wow. Because if they're involved in the sales and we know what our targets are, we might have a chance of hitting them. And I think, it's about you might know what to do, but you might necessarily know the best way, and you might know what you want. So tell the expert what you want, get the expert to understand you and what our infrastructure is, get the individual to be coached and developed and trained by the expert, and then that will have a knock-on effect on the rest of the business, because, Megan is in the account managers meeting, she'll be involved in the business plan. If there's communication that goes out, well, it needs to be through the marketing department. Yeah. If we do a lot of neurodiverse work, so the marketing department will be involved in that. So, it's got to be branded, hasn't it? And it's got to be right. And it's got to be, so the presentations, Megan will look after and input and add value. And so again, that's back to content, but it's back to culture and it's back to ways of working, really.
And actually, it's an interesting point that you make there, because there you're talking about culture, what's important to you, and I know that your business is heavily underpinned by your values. I mean, how do you feel, and what's been your experience, I suppose, of how Everpool's values align with Superfast's, and how's that helped perhaps to make it easy to work together?
Yeah, I think it's about integrity and trust and openness and honesty, and the core values of if you have trust, then you allow people to have opinions and have a voice, and be creative, and marketing's creative, and if people are being creative, and instead of telling people what to do, it's why not ask them what they think they should do, and then ask them what help and support they need to do that. And I would say that is what you've done with our marketing individual, and you've coached, if you're in tandem with me, you're in tandem with her. There's the alignment. So your values are probably similar to ours about trust, integrity, development,
Yeah. Oh, they
inclusivity,
are. Yeah,
creativity.
absolutely.
So you've
Collaboration.
got to work with somebody who aligns to your values.
Yeah,
Because if you think about it, we only want to work with clients who we feel we align to their values, they align to ours. So there's a similar synergy about reaching the end goal, because
of course.
there's lots of recruitment work out there, and the recruitment
Mm,
work will always be given out
mm.
because companies need people.
Need
So
that help. Yeah.
it's how you get that work and how you go
Mm,
about getting that work. And the
yes.
days of turning up as the salesman just doesn't work.
Mm,
It's about
mm,
what is it you're looking for? What do you think your issues are? What help and support do you think you need? How are your current suppliers doing, if you have any? Uh, we need to have a look at our competitors and see what they're good at, what they're not good at, what we're better at, and talk to
mm,
the clients about that, because all the
mm.
work is there, but people buy from people.
Yeah.
And if you're genuine and you're honest and you're sincere and you want to develop an individual's brand, because, if I
Mm,
change people's lives and our business does for our own people, and we work with candidates to change their lives, then ultimately we make a difference to the client's life as well.
yeah.
And
Of
that's
course
what
you do.
we aim to do, make a
Yeah.
difference, really.
Yeah. And so let's say if someone was listening to this and they were sort of like, should I join? Should I not join Superfast Circle? Is it going to be right for me? What would you say to someone who's considering joining Superfast Circle?
I'd ask them to consider why they're considering it, because write down what you think marketing is and what you think you need from it.
Mm,
And I'd say, if you're considering Superfast, send them an email or have a conversation with them. Say, I feel our business needs this because of this. Even though you might think you can do it yourself, but if you could do it yourself,
mm,
well, why aren't you doing it? And do you know all the answers? No, you don't. And I don't know all the answers because I'm not an expert in everything. And,
mm,
in my briefcase, if I had one, but it's not the modern way, it wouldn't just be
mm.
my sandwiches and an apple. There'd be lots of learning papers in there, and some of them would definitely be around marketing, because marketing is an interesting word, isn't it? What's it actually
Mm,
mean? But marketing is how you come across to other people about what you
mm,
do.
mm,
So why are you even thinking about? If you're seeking a marketeer, then you obviously need one, whether that's an agency or a brand. And
mm.
don't wait until you're really struggling before you go out and get
Yeah,
your marketing. If you're
yeah.
doing well and you haven't got any external marketing support, then
Mm,
I'm not saying have a separate marketing agency. I don't think it does you any harm to have an internal marketing person who's coached by experts. But
mm.
the experts from Sharon and Denise and Superfast will understand your brand and find out what you do, and they will critique and shape and in the right way give you some gifts from a criticism perspective to make your business
I like
better.
that.
If you're not prepared to take them on board, then you may struggle, but you have to listen to what
Mm,
the experts say, because that's what you're paying them for,
yeah.
and then do what the experts say, which isn't that easy at first, because it's quite daunting sometimes to open your soul and tell people why you do what you do, what you've got. And you've got to be ready for them to say, have you thought about this? What about that? You're not doing that. Have a look at your website. What you need to change it. You've got to do this. And they do it in the right way. And the great ladies to work for, but you have to take the feedback on board. Or I'd say don't do it, really,
Mm,
because why do you need external support? Well, because you can't do it yourself, or you can, but when you're doing that bit yourself, what is it you're not doing back at the ranch?
yeah.
And don't
And,
wait until you're in trouble, is what I would say.
right. And I think that's a great point as well, in terms of certainly, a lot of people that I do talk to who, have gone through that experience, I guess just post COVID, where there was a lot of business was coming to companies, but then of course that changed last year. And then some people have found themselves in that position where, oh, it's uncomfortable because that pipeline's not the same. And then they've got to start from scratch. Or they've got to kickstart systems that they dropped off using. Marketing can be inconsistent for a lot of businesses. So I think that's a great piece of advice. Don't wait till till it's too late. Um, you started marketing from the outset, from the get-go, and that's really sort of like supported the business and getting the brand out there and everything else you've described over the last couple of years. So listen, looking forward to continuing that journey, with yourself and with Megan and the team. But listen, thank you for your time, just sharing your thoughts and your experiences so far. Really appreciate it.
Great stuff. I look forward to working with you next year. Best get me subscription in for January, hadn't I?
You certainly had, and also you better kind of roll up those sleeves and get ready for some more work as well.
Definitely. Thank you. Great stuff.
All right. See you soon, Jed. Take care.
See you later.
Bye-bye.